The marches that have taken place across the capitals yesterday and in Edinburgh, Aberdeen, Dundee, but across Europe, I think are very myopic. They fail to recognise the broad scope of this problem, and led by people like Mr. Corbyn. He is right, of course, to condemn the occupation of Palestine by Israeli forces. He's right to talk about terrible things that are taking place. He's right to say that none of us condone killing, none of us are here to condone occupation, none of us are here to allow this assault on the people of Gaza and the people of the West Bank. But it's when there are placards being held from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, which imply the eradication of Israel, there's an error in this. We have to support the Palestinians, and at the same time we have to support Israel. And Jeremy Corbyn, when he was questioned last week, gave the impression that that was exactly what he was doing. But in fact, in his speech yesterday, there was no mention of Israel except in a negative. And again, unconditional support, Palestinian resistance against the Zionist entity. No, actually what we need to do is to... it's this sort of polarised view which leads to the attack on Gaza, to the recriminations. It's this sort of polarised view we should be engaging with both sides, rather than, it's a one side rather than the other side. I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that there are problems on both sides. I'm not suggesting this is a bash your heads together moment. I'm suggesting that it's really important to start with two definitions. Definition 1 is that Hamas is a terrorist organisation. Definition 2, that Israel suffered an appalling terrorist attack last Saturday. Then from there we go on to condemn the attack of civilians in Gaza as part of the recriminations envisaged by Netanyahu. It's perfectly possible to support Israel while condemning its government and its government's actions. And then, of course, we have the problem of the continued existence of Hamas and the strength that Hamas is given by this threat of invasion and by the siege. So I think as ever Mr. Corbyn's language is unguarded, but similarly unguarded and unhelpful is the language of Suella Braverman and others, and the failure of our government to actively help people who are caught, British subjects who are caught in Gaza. The focus on the second Nakba is again unhelpful. The Nakba was the initial acquisition of the land by Israel from the point of view of the Palestinians, and this is about a response to terrorism. It's not about an acquisition of land. And the question is, how should that response be best made. There were even chants yesterday of songs which refer to the massacre of the Jews in the early part of in 628. This is absurd. And we need greater perspective. But it starts by a series of definitions and a series of recognitions. And without that, this is simply sloganizing and a lot of unhelpful posturing, I'm afraid.